Hello and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Randacia, or Randy for short, and in today's video we are going to be closing out my July budget number 1 and setting up my July budget number 2. So let's jump right in. Okay, so for July budget number 1, or budget tracker number 1, that tracker went from June 18th through July 1st. So let's go ahead and close out the expenses. We did have some unbudgeted items that we'll go over, but I did already do the income. So for that pay period, we did get paid a total of $4,840. No, sorry. We did get paid a total of, what's all that? Of $2,978.12. But you guys already know that we do pay yourself first. So anything above $24.50, we automatically set to the side for savings. But for this paycheck, we did go over in food again. So we have to use some of that money in order to meet our needs for this paycheck. So unfortunately, we did not get to put the whole $528.12 that we had extra in our savings account. That would have been great, but that didn't happen because of the unbudgeted expenses. So let's go over the unbudgeted expenses real quick. So let me put unbudgeted, and then unbudgeted, we of course budgeted 0. So let's add up everything for unbudgeted. So you guys already know that after that spider incident, I complained to my husband. He went and got some bug spray from Home Depot. We were like this close to trying to find like a pest control place, but I said that was going to be like a monthly bill or like a high one-time bill. So let's try this bug spray and see if that works. And if it doesn't, then we'll have to call somebody to come get these spiders, because I do not play that. So he went and got some bug spray. So that was $28.36. And then he did manage to get his hands on a PS5, but he already had $292.33 set aside for that. The actual system came out to $543.74. If you are new to budgeting, do not do this. I got a pretty good handle on our finances, but even then, that's still really no excuse, because this is a poor budgeting practice where basically he was able to find it on Amazon. So we bought it with our Amazon credit card, which we get a 5% kickback for using the card. So we were short $251.41. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to pay that on this paycheck. I'm actually going to pay it off in the next paycheck. So literally I am using money from the future to pay this, to pay off this PlayStation. But I feel comfortable doing that because we do have savings in the case that if something goes wrong and we need to pay off all of our credit cards and things like that, we have this money already set aside. But I just want to highlight, for anybody that's new to budgeting, this is not a good thing to do, because you are basically borrowing money from the future, and that's not a good thing. So just because if something comes up and you don't have that money, then you're going to be on the hook for that money. You're going to already be in debt, if that makes sense. So like I said, I'm doing this because I know our finances very well, and we have a healthy savings account that in the case of an emergency, we need to pay off this balance, then we can do it in a heartbeat. But instead of using our savings, I want to just roll this to the next paycheck and do it that way. So this bill actually isn't even due until August. So even if I needed to roll it into the August budget, then that would be okay as well. But I plan on paying it off in paycheck number 2. So we're going to skip the PS5. go to Costco. We only had $180 budgeted for Costco, but we ended up spending $212.69. So we were over $32.69. And I'm trying out this monthly meal plan and things like that. And so far we have been eating out less, but I don't quite have the right mix of how much I should put towards groceries and how much I should put towards Costco, because again, we get a lot of staples and essentials from Costco and things that basically make meal planning and meal prepping and stuff easier on us. So that's why I want to put most of our money towards Costco. I just don't know quite how much of our money should go to Costco and how much should go to groceries. So I was going to put $284.03 from this extra money to roll it over from this paycheck to the next paycheck, because we are going to be short that $284. But because we were over so much on food in this paycheck, I basically changed my mind, and I'm going to see what the next paycheck looks like, and we're just going to play it by ear. If we have to use sinking funds or savings, then we'll do that. But yeah, we just like I said, we're trying to get a handle on our food right now, and this is just the process. So Winco, which was groceries, we went over $52.31. And then on food, this is basically eating out for I'm catching up on our credit cards, and like I said, I haven't been paying them off weekly. I've been paying them off like 2 to 3 weeks, and the accumulation of 2 to 3 weeks worth of eating out came to $308.75. So since we had the extra money in this paycheck, I went ahead and caught up our credit cards in this paycheck instead of pulling from sinking funds and things like that. So let's go ahead and add that. So $422.11 is what we basically spent on food for this paycheck, which was unbudgeted. So let's see how that plays out. All right, so I'll put that total right here. Okay, so now that we've added up the unbudgeted, let's go over to our expenses for this pay period. So everything was on budget except for Verizon, of course, came under budget. And I did adjust the Verizon amount that I'm budgeting every month for the rest of the year to, I just lowered it down a little bit to $123, so I wouldn't have as much money left over every month for Verizon. So, but for right now, that's okay. So like I said, everything was on budget except for Verizon, which came under budget. So let's go ahead and add up these expenses. Okay, so the expenses for this pay period came to $4,733.11. And we'll go ahead and add up the variances. Okay, so $418.45 is what we were over in total for this paycheck. So let me do my math really quick to make sure that this is right. Okay, so that is right. So now what I'm going to do is find what our total savings was for this paycheck by taking the income variance minus the expense variance. And again, I don't do anything with the unbudgeted because I already added it to the expenses, if that makes sense. Okay, so overall, we were only able to put $109.67 in our sinking funds or to add towards our goals. But honestly, what I'm probably going to do is just roll this over to paycheck number 2 by just leaving it in our bill paying account to help us make up for the $284 that we're going to be short in the next paycheck. So that way we only need like what, $170 or so for the next paycheck instead of, you know, the whole $284. So unfortunate when we had so much money left over, but it is what it is. Okay, so now for paycheck number 2 for July. This budget tracker is going to go from July 2nd through July 14th. So let's go ahead and get into it. So our estimated income is going to be the same as last paycheck, which was $2,450. A rollover, I need to actually look at the monthly budget. So all I'm going to do is copy the numbers in column number 2 over to this paycheck tracker, because that is the expenses that I'm tracking for this paycheck. So let's do that. Rollover is $271.29. So rollover is just money from June that I rolled over to July to help with July expenses. Business is $44.98. And then sinking funds, which again, this is the $284.03 that we're going to need for this paycheck to cover all of our expenses. And again, if we don't make extra income to help cover that, because I already told you guys that I'm rolling over the savings from this paycheck, the 109, to this paycheck. So if we don't make about like 170 or so, then we're gonna need to pull the 170 out of sinking funds or our savings if we don't make extra income for this pay period. So I'm hoping that we do. Let's go ahead and add up the income for this pay period. So $3,050.30 is what we're estimating for this pay period. And like I said, I rolled over the PS5 that we bought in this paycheck to this paycheck. So on top of the 170 that we need for this paycheck, I am hoping that we get an extra 251 to pay off this PS5. If we don't, then I'll have to move this PS5 forward, which again, it's okay. It is on a credit card and that balance is not due until August. So we won't be accruing any interest or anything like that. So I'm perfectly fine with that if we have to move it forward, but I prefer not to, like I said. So I'm going to leave that section alone. We're just going to use that to track any other unbudgeted expenses that may come up during this paycheck period. So childcare is $560. Actually, let me just pull out this paper and do it like that. Get another paper to write on. Okay, so childcare is $560. Water and trash is $120. Electric is $15. Natural gas is $20. Life insurance for my husband is $69.96. For me, it is $57.64. MetLife is $334, which is our car insurance. Frontier, which is our home internet, is $54.86. Hulu, I actually canceled Hulu, but it's supposed to be cut off this weekend. Or on the 6th, that and Disney Plus, because we're just not using it. And I actually want to buy a subscription with Funimation. If anybody likes anime, then you probably are familiar with Funimation. They do have their own app now. So I do want to pay a yearly subscription for that and replace Hulu and Disney Plus with the Funimation subscription. Just because our son doesn't really watch Disney Plus. He mostly watches YouTube. We have Amazon Prime, which he loves to watch. And then we still have Netflix. So I think on top of like those 3 subscriptions, and he has this tablet, which we're paying a subscription for, 2, like out of all of those, I think we have enough subscription. And I really typically only watch anime. So it's better, like my husband likes Netflix, so it's better, you know, somebody gets everything that they want instead of us hanging on to Hulu and Disney Plus, which nobody's really watching compared to the other streaming services. So Hulu is $11.99, and then Netflix is $13.99, and then Disney Plus was $7.99. Let me double check these numbers because I could dang sure be lying to you guys. Yeah, Hulu is $11.99. So even though they are supposed to be cut off, I am just going to budget for them still since I had them originally in my budget, but we'll see if I get charged for them for this period or not. So I shouldn't, but you never know. For gas, moving over here now. For gas, it is $110. For groceries, it's $75. For Costco, it's $175. And again, like I said, I'm trying to play with this to see how much we should put towards Costco and how much we should put towards groceries. We did already go to the grocery store and Costco for this pay period. So besides another small grocery run that we need to do later on, like next week, I may or may not lower this grocery budget even further and put more towards Costco because again, we did go over a little bit on our Costco budget, but again, that's okay. We're figuring it out. So I'm just going to give us grace while we're trying to figure it out. Let's see, diapers and wipes, $40. Amazon Kids Plus, this is the subscription that I was talking about for my son's tablet. Car loan is $256.29. My husband has a couple of work certifications that he needs to renew. So we are budgeting $60 for that. And then his car registration is due on the 8th. So we're budgeting $196 for that. And then rollover 1 month ahead is $824.61. And now that I'm thinking about it, we will be 1 month ahead fully come our August budget. So the money that I'm rolling over in this July budget, which is a total of $2,135, that's honestly just going to be extra money now that I'm thinking about it. We're not going to need it to pay any of our August bills. So if we go over, so I might reduce this amount, this $824, to cover all of the expenses for paycheck number 2. I think that's what we might do if we don't bring in additional income. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do because like I said, at this point, this $2,000 is basically extra money. So I am going to have to talk to my husband about what we want to do with the rest of the remaining money that we may or may not use for paycheck number 2. So I'll keep you guys tuned on what we decide to do with that extra money. But yeah, thank God, because that's a good chunk of change to have all of a sudden just extra. And that's, if anyone is new to my channel, that's because we've been rolling over our paychecks since January. So if you look at it, like one of our yearly financial goals was to get 1 month ahead on bills. And I started that in 2021. So in 2021, we had or not 2021, in January, we had a third paycheck. So instead of spending that on, just fun things, we just used it for bills. So since January, we've been a half a month ahead on our bills. So now that we're down to July 16th and July 30th paychecks are already designated to pay August bills, just because of how our bills or our paychecks fell since January. So if you missed this video where I'm explaining how we got 1 month ahead, or how we were going to get 1 month ahead, I'll go ahead and link it up in the cards and it'll make much more sense. But just rolling over this paycheck from January has allowed us now to use 2 out of our 3 checks in July to pay August bills. So that is amazing. Thank you, God, because we need it. We need a break right about now. But back to paycheck number 2. iCloud is $9.99, Adobe Cloud is $19.99, and then Epidemic Sound is $15. These 3 do come out of my business account for YouTube, so those come out of the business income that I set aside for paycheck number 2, which is $44.98 in total. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and add up all the expenses for this paychecks. Quite a few. I think this is the most I've had since I've started using my budget template. And if you're new to my channel, I did make this budget template. It's always linked down. The link to my Etsy shop is always in the description if you want to check it out. I have other worksheets and templates and things like that that you might find interesting. So go ahead and check out the Etsy shop if you want to. But otherwise, let's go ahead and add up these budgeted expenses. So that total is $3,050.30, which matches our estimated income for this pay period, which means we have a zero-based budget, which is what I was going for. So that is a setup of paycheck number 2 for July, and I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give the video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.